This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 30th day of January in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Mayor of Georgetown Alfred Mentor is begging the commercial community for patience as the city council grapples with a high court ruling which has ordered the removal of vendors operating on the outskirts of Munishwar store on Water Street. At a press conference today, Mayor Mentor assured reporters that the city council will devise a plan to regularize street vending in the country's capital. But he said the council needs time to conduct a study of the situation. Last year, the High Court ordered the City Council to remove all encumbrances from outside the Munishwar store. And though the Council at the time signaled its intention to comply with the ruling, there has not been much movement by the Council to ensure the ruling is carried through.
As long people are, what was the word I'm looking for? As long nothing is left, but persons are there overseeing their whatever they bring there, they're not leaving it. They're accompanying it, and we, based on our finding a way to monitor and regulate, allow them to be able to do that within this time and this time. And if they leave it overnight, the engineer is empowered to be able to, through the town clerk, to be able to move it.
Back in November, the Georgetown mayor said he was in talks with the Munishwar's company to have the vendors outside the store remain until the 15th of January. And after that time passed, they should be removed. But today he sought to shift part of that responsibility to the central government, telling reporters that the government is responsible for public roads.
Public roads, as we all know, fall on the central government. City streets fall under us. But while the order itself addressed the issue of the council being mandated to treat with these issues, there's the government themselves, or the central government itself, who has responsibility for the roads. They should have also been a party to this action, because there are some things in this action that you're asking the city to address a public road issue when it doesn't have a mandate to treat with such public roads.
Mr. Mentor said the issue will be placed before the council when it meets on the 12th of February, as other companies, including Banks DIH Limited, have threatened to take legal action against the council over a similar situation outside their premises. But vendors are vowing not to remove from the streets bordering the Munishwar store, even as they accuse the mayor and city council of sending mixed signals and misleading them on the issue. According to the vendors, they were told by the mayor last week that they would be allowed to vend in the area once their stalls or stands are removed at the end of business. However, on Monday, the city inspector instructed them to clear the area. Sahadio Jaggernaut, a father of four who has been vending in the area for more than 2 decades, said while the vendors are willing to remove all structures at the close of business on a daily basis, they are not prepared to move altogether. Jaggernaut said after cleaning the area on Sunday and investing in movable stalls on Monday, they were instructed to remove from the area altogether.
You can't tell me something else last week and then Monday morning is something else is wrong to me. We can't sell none at all, which are in a mining.
Another vendor, Ramesh Jetu, who said he has been vending on the pavement just outside Munishwar's for more than 32 years, said the city council has been flip-flopping on the issue.
I go and invest so much of money to buy these stands, to carry it when I come in the morning, I bring it, and when I go in the afternoon, I take it. There's what you tell me to do. Now this morning when we come for sale now, they say we cannot vend anymore. Munishwar own up to the junction, up to where his building go.
He also said those affected are poor and will remain united on the issue, as he laid blame at the feet of the Georgetown City Council and the government.
I say PPP man, we put them in power, and just how we put them in power, we're gonna take them back out. Because the people them have to live, and they're supposed to know that. What these people gonna go? If they cannot sell, they're going to thief. And we don't want that in our country.
Meanwhile, a young mother of two who sells greens on Water Street said the council instructing them to move is taking bread from the mouths of their children.
What the one we do? Go and thief? What the one I do? I just single parents with me 2 children. It's real hard. Because if me gonna move on with me children, get me the milk, the pampers from. What I go? Where I go? That's where I gotta ask them. Is the government road we there on the pave? We complain with them all the time. When we done, we mind packing up and move.
And another vendor, Marvin Boucher, broke down in tears as he complained about losing his livelihood.
I'm on the road. Me there on the pave, me there over the gutter, me there near to the gutter, I on the road. Now how you will come and tell me I don't move off the road? It's like Montreal on the road, the government is on the road, city hall on the road, Montreal on the road. For come and tell people they have to come off the road. Now what am I going to do?
Boucher said he has no intention of moving, while another vendor, Samantha Wilson, expressed a similar position.
I am not moving. I know we're going to play out and I prepare for what's going to play out, but I am moving.
The roadside and pavement vending problem has been growing in Georgetown over the years, with very little action to curb the practice. More news coming up in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Store's Christmas jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Now let's tell you that thousands of teachers from across the country are set to go on strike action from Monday as the Guyana Teachers Union initiates industrial action over the government's failure to address the multi-year agreement proposed by the union. Since 2020, the GTU has been pushing for an across-the-board increase in salaries as part of a multi-year agreement. The union had proposed a 25% salary increase for 2019 and 20% each year for the years 2020, 2021, and 2022, and 2023. But instead it was met with imposed salary increases and non-salary benefits from the government. GTU General Secretary Coretta MacDonald today told News Source that teachers have had enough and they are ready to withdraw their services for a period of 2 weeks, starting from Monday the 5th of February.
Now, we would expect the Ministry of Labour to be very neutral, but over the years, if you check that, you will recognize that the Ministry of Labor, rather than being neutral between the two parties, the Ministry of Labor, they take a side. And the Ministry of Labor is always taking the side of the government, which is shameful. The Ministry of Labor is supposed to be there to act as the mediator between the two parties, whichever two parties, whether it's GTU, Ministry of Education, whether it's the Bauxite Union and the Bauxite Company. But the Ministry of Labor doesn't do that. And so I want to cry shame on the Minister of Labor.
McDonald said the strike will take several forms, but will see teachers all across the country sending a strong message to the government and that they will not sit idly by and allow their rights to be trampled on.
But these teachers were tricked into going to the State House. And so they said what was affecting them personally, not what was affecting members across this country. And so again, we want to cry shame on the president who claims to be loving and caring and understanding what workers are going through in this country. We want to cry shame on him again for taking that kind of approach and to use that as the paint to paint teachers all across this country.
Contextualizing the issue, the General Secretary of the Teachers Union explained that in 2020, the GTU submitted a proposed multi-year agreement to the Ministry of Education. But months later, it was told that the Office of the President would be handling all financial matters. Minister of Governance Gail Teixeira was then mandated by the President to facilitate discussions on the multi-year agreement, which covers salary increases, non-salary issues such as scholarships and duty-free concessions. However, those talks never bore any fruit. Given the posture of the Ministry of Education and the Office of the President, the GTU General Secretary said the union wrote to the Ministry of Labor in October last year, indicating that talks between the union and the government had broken down, resulting in the initiation of the process of conciliation. It was noted that the conciliatory process was never advanced because the Labor Ministry never responded to the request by the GTU. McDonald said the GTU then wrote to the Labor Ministry again, requesting arbitration, but that request was met with deafening silence. She said it was not until the union threatened industrial action that it got a call from the Ministry of Labor, requesting copies of the earlier letters sent. However, she said instead of responding positively to the union's request, the Ministry of Labor responded with a warning that the impending strike action would be illegal.
Our teachers are up and ready, and there is no one from within the GTU or the arms of GTU, which are our branches. None of our members there are intimidating or threatening our teachers. Our teachers are fed up, they are tired, and they are ready to go.
The GTU General Secretary said while teachers are the nation's builders, they have not been treated well. She said instead of engaging the union in meaningful consultation, the president selected a handful of teachers last year to hear of their concerns, while ignoring thousands of other teachers and the union itself.
We are going to be withdrawing our services, which means that there are times when our teachers are going to be in the streets, there are times when our teachers are going to be at home, there are times when our teachers are going to be assembled at the union halls that we have.
The GTU General Secretary said while the government continues to heed to the cries of the sugar sector and has responded to the cries of other groups, it continues to ignore teachers while issuing threats against their planned strike action. A well-known agriculture officer from Region 10 died tragically this afternoon in an accident along the Tacoma Road in the Berbice River area in Region 10. 3 other persons were badly injured in the accident and remain hospitalized. Officials in Region 10 have identified the dead man as Aaron Leach, who worked at NARI as a district crop extension officer for Region 10. Leach was a passenger in the Ministry of Agriculture pickup that was heading to one of the outlying Region 10 communities when tragedy struck. It is suspected that the vehicle was being driven at a fast rate when the driver lost control as the vehicle skidded on small bricks in the road and flipped over several times. Persons in the area said Leach was pitched out of the vehicle and onto the roadway. He was picked up along with the other injured persons and rushed to the hospital, but it was too late for him. The matter is being investigated by the police in the area.
Twice the fun. Twice the thrill. On your next trip with Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama and enjoy 2 vacations in one at no additional airfare. Because to live life at its fullest, first you have to stop. So next time you fly Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama at no additional airfare.
Stop the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Well, train stop at warming halls, make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
While the government has defended the $270.9 million in subvention, which has been set aside for the Public Procurement Commission, even as Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson continues to raise questions about whether Guyana is getting value for money. The Parliamentary Committee of Supply was told today that the Public Procurement Commission has completed just 4 investigations over the past 18 months, and of the 4 investigations completed, only 2 of them have been published. As he scrutinized the operations of the Public Procurement Commission as the consideration of the budget estimates began today, MP Patterson pointed out that the $270.9 million budgeted for the constitutional agency represents an increase of $35 million, or 15%, when compared to the subvention it received last year.
Mr. Chair, this agency spent $199.8 million in 2022, $235.3 in 2023, and we're only able to publish 2 reports during this period. Can we have an explanation why is this so?
The Public Procurement Commission received a total of 12 requests for investigations to be done following its reconstitution in July of 2022. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Gail Teixeira, in responding to a series of questions posed by the opposition Member of Parliament, told the Committee of Supply that the Public Procurement Commission is tasked with other responsibilities outside of conducting investigations into government procurement.
I wish to remind the honourable member that under Article 212 of the Constitution, the PPC has 13 functions. One of which is investigation. Has 13 functions. And the Procurement Act also details its role on a number of issues in compliance with the Constitution. So you are focusing on one issue, yes. Do we think we're getting value for money? Yes. In the anti-corruption field and in being able to investigate and have an authority that is constitutional and independent of the government or of you, the opposition, or anybody else, so be it. The money is well used. because it allows for that oversight function and being able to monitor what's going on.
Further, she disclosed that the commission has visited a number of communities and has also completed training programs and other initiatives. Pressing the governance minister for more answers, MP Patterson inquired about the salaries and benefits paid to the chairman and commissioners of the Public Procurement Commission. It was then that the minister revealed that the chairman of the PPC receives a salary of $1.3 million monthly, or $15.6 million annually, in addition to travel, telephone, entertainment, and security allowances, which would push the total salary per year to $20.3 million. The deputy chairman of the Public Procurement Commission receives a monthly salary of $1.1 million, along with a number of allowances, while the commissioners get a salary of $900,000 each, along with entertainment allowances per month.
Based on the response given by the minister, quick calculations, the chairperson, for the 18 months that they've existed, the chairperson would have received about $30 million. The deputy chair, the deputy chairperson would have received about $24 million, and the three commissioners combined, sir, in the 18 months since they have been re-established, sir, would have received $50 million in salaries and benefits, sir, to produce 2 single reports. Does this agency consider that value for money?
But that question did not sit well with Minister Teixeira, who in her response pointed out that during the 2018 to 2020 period, the Public Procurement Commission produced just 2 reports.
2 reports from 2018 to 2020, sir. So, and you know 2 of the reports. You know one very well, sir. You know one extremely well, which had to do with the new Demar Harbor Bridge, which you know now is a matter in court, sir. And so that was one of the investigations of the PPC then, and was made public, and then was removed from the website, and I believe is now put back on. The second one had to do with the Ministry of Health and the purchase of $600 million worth of drugs without going to tender and without getting the approval of waiver.
Teixeira said back then the officials of the Public Procurement Commission were receiving similar salaries. Further, she told the committee that the current commission is responding to requests for investigations as they come. However, the progress of those investigations will be based on availability of documented evidence. The National Assembly's Committee of Supply this afternoon cleared over $16 billion for the Guyana Defense Force to boost its infrastructure and to purchase new equipment such as drones and other devices. During the consideration of the budget estimates, Opposition Member of Parliament Kimrat Ramjatan queried the allocation under the Defense and Security Support. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Gil Teixeira pointed out that the allocation is to boost the GDF's capacity and capabilities.
$16,234,661 relate to the provision of 2 aircraft, which is foreign funded, procurement for choppers, helicopters, equipment these are all billions, of course, not millions. V2OL long-range drone systems of another 1.3 billion, and OPV 7 billion. This is to procure a second boat, well, it's an OPV for the Coast Guard. So this will be increasing our military infrastructure and equipment.
The opposition did not object to the allocations. Last week, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo revealed that the government has begun engagements with the Bell Helicopter Company for the purchase of 4 small helicopters to assist with training of security personnel and to boost the country's capacity and capabilities. Today, Minister Teixeira did not say if the $16 billion will also cater for the purchase of those helicopters from Bell, although she was asked. But she explained that the government is keen on giving the Guyana Defense Forces infrastructure and equipment capacity a significant boost. Last month, the National Assembly approved $1.2 billion in supplementary funding to support the Guyana Defense Force. Those funds were given to beef up the GDF capabilities in the face of increased threats from neighboring Venezuela. Since those increased threats in December, calls have been made from the opposition and other sections of the society for the government to boost the GDF's capacity to respond to threats. President Irfan Ali has announced that the government will be working with the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union GAWU, as well as sugar workers directly to find a mechanism to increase the salaries of those sugar workers. In a Facebook Live discussion with the finance minister at his side, the president last evening said the sugar industry, as well as sugar workers, have gone through a rough period, as he made reference to the closure of sugar estates under the previous government. The president said the government has already made a number of interventions to assist sugar workers, but he believes that more could be done.
We are aware that things are changing. That is why we are working on a system, and very soon we'll be collaborating with the union and workers so that we can find a mechanism through which we can improve and increase the wages of these workers.
President Ali estimated that some 25,000 Guyanese lost their livelihood and were affected by the closure of the sugar estates. He made the case about the Will Sugar Estate, where he said surrounding communities and businesses were terribly affected. However, the president noted that since the return of his government to office, the industry has seen some improvements.
But we are not satisfied with that. We are now working on a plan to up the skill level of our cane harvesters so that they can be part of the mechanization project, operating the machines. But more importantly, that we can now have a new form of operation. One of the things we're examining is how we can optimize productivity by moving to a more contract form within the industry itself.
Mr. Ali said the government has a clear understanding that it not only has to rebuild and keep the sugar industry alive, but the formula has to be found to improve the skill level of the workers of the industry.
We are not a government that will hide away from issues. We're not saying that sugar is not a challenge. This is a major challenge for us. But we are committed to ensuring that we succeed.
The government has set aside $6 billion in this year's budget to support Gaisuco's field and factory operations, with the hope of turning the industry around. Since returning to government, the PPP Civic Administration has invested more than $30 billion in the sugar industry. However, earnings continue to slide, even as increased production has been announced.
Are you looking to start or advance your career with one or more of our world-class associate, bachelor, or master's degrees in 14 specializations from the comfort of your home worldwide? Then look no further than the University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB. We are affordable, accessible, flexible, multi-world class, internationally accredited and locally recognized by NAC Guyana as a tertiary degree granting college. For more details on our no strings attached 60% scholarship and our payment plan, please call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-3434 or 618-3434. Visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College front building, Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
Imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Foodmax and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Foodmax, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Reuters in a report said El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, who has described himself as the world's coolest dictator, has in less than 5 years transformed El Salvador from a country infamous for its record in murder and gangs to a nation with one of the lowest homicide rates in the Americas. That record means he's all but certain to be re-elected in a presidential election on Sunday for another 5-year term, despite a constitutional bar on immediate re-election, voter worries about the economy, and criticism of his draconian crackdown on civil and human rights. Under him, more than 2% of the adult population of the Central American country is behind bars, and several constitutional rights have been shelved, prompting critics to call him a modern-day autocrat. But Salvadorans weary of years of gang violence can live in ways unimaginable before. Once barred from going to neighborhoods controlled by rival gangs, residents can now freely move around. They can open businesses without paying crushing extortion fees. The U.S. will reinstate sanctions on Venezuela's oil sector if the Venezuelan government does not lift its ban on a leading opposition candidate running for president later this year, a White House official said today. Reuters, in a report, said the Biden administration will allow a 6-month suspension of energy-related sanctions to expire in April if Maria Corina Machado and other opposition figures are not allowed to compete against President Nicolas Maduro, the official said. Venezuela's Supreme Court on Friday kept in place a ban barring Machado from registering for elections scheduled in the second half of this year. The judges upheld findings that she had supported U.S. sanctions, been involved in corruption, and lost money associated with Venezuela's foreign assets. The United States had granted sanctions relief for OPEC member Venezuela in October as part of an electoral deal. But that relief was conditioned on Maduro freeing certain opposition-linked and American prisoners and making progress toward removing bans on a number of opposition figures. Venezuela in December carried out a prisoner swap that appeared to be a step towards complying with those demands. However, in recent days, the decision by the Maduro-allied Supreme Court against Machado, plus new arrests of opposition members, has prompted a U.S. threat to restore sanctions. And finally tonight, international news. Israeli forces have killed 3 militants inside a hospital in Jenin, in the occupied West Bank, according to the BBC. CCTV footage showed members of an undercover unit disguised as medics and other civilians making their way through a corridor with rifles raised. The Israeli military said the militants were hiding in the hospital and that one was about to carry out an attack. The Palestinian Authority's Ministry of Health accused Israel of carrying out a new massacre inside hospitals. Hamas, an armed Palestinian Islamist group which is fighting a war with Israel in Gaza triggered by its unprecedented attacks on Israel on October 7, said the Israeli forces had executed 3 fighters, including one of its members.
Another armed group, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, said 2 of those killed were its members and were brothers. It added that one of them had been receiving treatment at the hospital. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.